up, man? We in the building November the 9th. Another great show in store for the people. We definitely appreciate all the listeners, past and present. Let's jump into it, man. What we got today?
Man, Young Thug. Now, it's crazy the amount of shit has gone on between this case and the other stuff that has gone on legally. We almost forgot about Young Thug sitting in prison right now for a RICO charge, potentially life in danger. Now, I seen today academics put that the judge in the Young Thug case is allowing the use of 17 different lyrics against him and his co-defendants in his case. Now, when I saw that, my initial thought was, before I looked to see if there's any other additional information and let you go in, if they're allowed to use his lyrics, which I know a lot of people were kind of vouching for courts and legal system not to do, but if they're allowed to use that, he's done.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for him because I think it was in New York where they were pretty much trying to pass this bill where artists' songs couldn't be used against them in court, which I think is gonna have a hard time. But this is in Georgia, totally different, place than New York, and I think artists and under the current prosecution system will have a hard time separating that, like saying, let's leave this out. In certain instances, they do leave it out. And one, the YNW Melly trial, his song where he explicitly talked about killing a friend or two of his, that was left out. And that was in Florida. So I guess every state is different. But when you start talking about allowing lyrics to be let in, it could either be one, beneficial to the prosecution, or on the other hand, it could be what people just call embellishment. Like, he was just talking about something that didn't really happen, but they're trying to now take it and say that it was this incident. It could be both. And on the other side of it, it could be some of these rappers is dumb enough to talk about some of the stuff that they really did.
Right.
We've seen that as well. We've seen that even with interviews, which we'll talk about right after this. People going on interviews and they just continue just to run their mouth. And now we see that, law enforcement is not looking at interviews. They're looking at songs, been looking at songs, for the last 50 to 60 years probably. But they're getting information, key information for people that what we call now self-snitching.
Yeah, and I'm reading a little more on it, and giving a little more context. I'll briefly give the layout. It's in a nutshell, they're allowed to use it, right? But the judge added that if prosecutors intend to include additional lyrics as a part of the alleged evidence in the case, they can be submitted for judge review before the trial begins later in the month. I would just ask the state, or just remind the state, if any other lyrics are sought to be admitted, that I'd go through this same analysis. He went through analysis of 17 different song lyrics and allowed them to go ahead and be used. Now, Brian Steele, the attorney for Young Thug, whose legal name, obviously Jeffrey Lamar Williams, argued during a late-night hearing on Wednesday that the lyrics are a form of artistic expression and should not be used as evidence of any individual's true state of mind. He also said that not all lyrics performed by Young Thug were even written by the artist himself. Very interesting.
Good defense.
We can go on that. Right now, the lyrics are being used to prove the nature of YSL as a racketeering enterprise, the expectation of YSL as criminal street gang, said Fulton County Assistant District Attorney Mike Carlson in court on Wednesday. Let me see. That's pretty much it. He said, Glanville said on Thursday he conducted an analysis on the lyrics and First Amendment argument and considered Steele's argument against the lyrics being used, suggested its propensity to behave in a certain way, but determined that he had dissuaded as to propensity argument because the evidence is not being admitted.
Yeah, I mean, man. What they probably gonna do is what they already done. They're gonna go through everything with a fine tooth comb, and they're gonna keep arguing every single time they get Young Thug's defense that this was just, and they had nothing to do with no crime. Like, this is artistic expression. As a matter of fact, so-and-so wrote this. Right. He ain't even write it. And I think that's the best defense that you're going to have, because you don't want those lyrics coming in. You don't want the jury being able to, gleam and hear that, because it's going to paint you out to be a real, real bad monster. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because we heard some of the Young Thug's lyrics and, just trying to be objective as possible. Some people might say, yeah, it makes him guilty. Yeah. I want to be objective here because I don't know if he's guilty. I didn't see what he did. We're just going off of some of the stuff that Georgia is telling us that he did. I did hear some of his music, but we also have rappers out there that rap that's full of shit. And we know that ain't done none of the stuff they talked about, but they got this man in court. What they're saying is evidence to try to, turn his label or whatever into a racketeering enterprise, which I think is very, very interesting. And we shall see, what people, how things end up. You got anything else on that? 'Cause I want to add something to it. If not,
Nope, go ahead either.
did you hear Big U? Kind of add this on Big U. He was talking about how Gunna, he don't feel like he was a snitch because there was no paperwork. Did you hear that?
No, you got it. You got audio.
Let me see. This it.
Y'all ask me why I support Gunna, right? This is my take on Gunna. I ain't seen nothing on Gunna. Gunna ain't never ain't got no paperwork on Gunna. Gunna did some fuck shit, I feel, as far as he took his deal first. That was the only shit. But the nigga ain't told on nobody. Y'all fall into this other shit with these other niggas just call everybody a rat. Niggas ain't got no paperwork. Rat on nigga, you gotta have paperwork, man. When they caught a case and they did something. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on it.
I just don't think that he understands. Like, I don't know if he saw the video of Gunner. And I think he's so old school that, because see, back in the day, it was just like, all right, paperwork. He's a prison guy, so it's like paperwork. But you could tell on somebody without getting no paperwork. You see that people could tell in the police car and the precinct. But in this particular instance, we seen Gunner, one, admit that he disassociated himself from the gang. He admitted, that he seen him doing criminality. If that's not snitching, I don't know what is. Now, I can see about like he didn't, tell about a specific incident at a specific time, but in general, he, did what he did, and it was all on video. We all seen it.
Yeah, and whether you deem that a rat or you deem that the level of snitch, whatever the case may be, right? He went up there. He was asked questions in relation to being crime related.
Yeah.
Dissociate yourself with the gang. They asked that man a question, and he answered yes. Yes. I mean, I don't know what else he told. He said yes. So, but you know what? And here's my thing, and this is my raw thought on it, because I'm not giving him a pass, and nor does me giving him a pass. What the fuck does that matter? If Young Thug's cool with him and other people are cool with him,
yeah,
go out here and pursue a career safely and do your thing. If other people ain't been touched and can live their lives freely in other places that do the same shit in front of y'all, then Gunna has the right to do that too. So although I do think he definitely said something, he told to what level, that's up to y'all's assumption, but he definitely answered questions and helped out the prosecution in that.
Damn right he did.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can't. That's something that just can't be denied. It's no matter how you sugarcoat it, no matter how anybody wants to say this and that about. We all saw what it was, right? Mm-hmm. And according to the rules that they make, the dude, remember, it's two sides. You know what I mean? You cooperated, you helped the side that's prosecuting your homie right now, your brother. That's just what it is. Now, Young Thug might not even be mad about it because he got bigger fish to fry, but that's just what the real is. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't really got much more to say on it.
Yeah.
I just don't think Big U probably just understands, the scope of everything. But, we had Big U on, real good dude. And I would definitely, put it to him just like this. Well, what about this? And even play the video. What about this? And see what he says. But shout out to Big U. And, we'll see what happens with Young Thug.
Yeah, he got far more time in the street than we do. So I'm not going to sit back and question his knowledge. But I don't agree on that. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? I would love to get his perspective as to what he was thinking if those questions were presented to him, if we ever had the opportunity.
Paperwork, I mean, it's, I don't know if you've seen the video. I don't know. That's just weird.
Paperwork is one thing, and just cold, hard visual evidence is something too. Like, I hold this weight, and I mean, more weight than the damn.
I didn't expect Gunna. I mean, from his image, I didn't expect him to do something like that. We seen people in situations that didn't say a word. We've been to trials where people didn't say a word. They all took it and went down like a man. So we don't have to sit up here and act like it was a noble thing for him to do so he can get back to his fucking rap career to go cooperate with the prosecution. We seen people sit down because they was about that life and they took it on the chin. We seen that.
Let me ask you this, O. If Gunna came out and publicly, and I'm not putting a timeline on it, let's say 3 years from now, he comes out and goes, listen, I'm so-and-so and so. I went to private school growing up. I just wanted to be a rapper and personify image. I had nothing to do with what they had going on. I was an innocent bystander. I don't know what signs I was putting up. This wasn't really me. I was faking. I'm a phony. I was faking a lifestyle, and I got caught up and I got in trouble.
I'll call him 6ix9ine.
Would that change anything in your perspective?
I'm not mad at the dude or nothing
Yeah,
like that. You know what I mean? Or I just think it's some sucker shit.
Yeah.
But if he did say that, I would still think it'd make him a sucker. Why you perpetrating a fraud now?
Yeah. Word.
Again, I don't really rock with his music anyway, but I don't have no malice towards him, but we gotta call a spade a spade. And that's how I just feel about the situation. Nigga, shut your motherfucking mouth, nigga. Like, just take it on the chin, whatever it was, and fight it. But just say, look, I'm gonna go out there. I wanna, disassociate myself, but I don't want to incriminate them. And that probably wasn't available for him. So
enough. Yeah.
Right, it wasn't enough. They was like, nah, you gotta say this. You gotta say there was a gang. You gotta say you seen them doing this, and you gotta disassociate yourself. And that's exactly what he did on camera. We all seen it.
I mean, the first 11 hours, they had a mugshot of him, and he looked totally different. Like, brother was stressed out.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I get it.
Bars.
Oh man, yeah, like,
and that's what I'm saying. If he wasn't built for that for real, and he was personifying an image, in the first 11 days, he got people coming at him, and he can't get his hair done and shit no more, and his nails, and fucking around with women. He's like, man, what I got to do to get up out of here, bro? I ain't built for this. Yeah. I'm not condoning any of it. Because the second you said YSL and you knew what it was about, the second you witnessed something, the second you were about it, and you continued to take checks, you made yourself a part of that lifestyle. Whether it was...
When you was allegedly doing crimes and shit, you in it, bro.
You in it.
Right.
So now you can't back out now because you signed up for it. So
yeah,
even 3 or 4 years later, that's not an excuse. When you sign up for it, you sign up for it.
But, I mean, so far it looks good for him. He had a charting album. He got out the situation. More power to him.